Junho Park wiped the dust from his hands as he looked around the crowded auction house. The place smelled old, like paper and metal that had been sitting in boxes for too long. He liked that smell. It meant history. It meant secrets waiting to be found. The auction was for Hyunwoo Choi's estate. The old man had died 3 weeks ago with no family to claim his things. Junho knew Hyunwoo a little bit. The man used to come into his antique shop sometimes, talking about the old days before humans met aliens. Before everything changed. That was back in 2175, more than 100 years ago. Now it was 2286 and humans lived on space stations. They worked with aliens. They traveled between planets. But Junho loved the old stuff, the things from Earth before all of that happened. Lot number 47, the auctioneer called out. Collection of pre-contact clothing items. Junho sat up straighter. He watched as workers brought out several boxes. Most people in the room looked bored. Old clothes did not sell for much money. But Junho saw something interesting. One item sat in a clear containment case. It looked like a jacket, but the material was strange. The fabric seemed to move and change colors even though no one touched it. Blue shifted to purple. Purple became green. Green faded to silver. "What is that?" someone whispered behind Junho. The auctioneer checked his notes. "Ah, yes. Special item. According to records, this was acquired in 2175. The original owner labeled it as a Veltharan ceremonial garment, a diplomatic gift. The case has never been opened." Junho felt his heart beat faster. The Veltharans were one of the most powerful alien species in the galaxy. They were warriors, proud and dangerous. They did not like humans very much these days. There were always news reports about border disputes and angry Veltharan commanders. A small tag on the case caught his eye. He could barely read it from his seat, but the words made him lean forward. "Do not wear." "Starting bid is 500 credits, the auctioneer said. Junho raised his hand. 500. No one else bid. People did not want to buy alien things with warnings on them. Smart people, Junho thought. But he was not always smart. He was curious. Sold to bidder 23 for 500 credits. After the auction, Junho carried the containment case to his small transport pod. The jacket felt heavier than it should. Or maybe that was just his imagination. He lived and worked on New Seoul Space Station, which orbited Mars. The station was home to almost 2 million people. His shop was in the lower commercial district, where rent was cheap and customers were rare. When he got back to the shop, his sister Mirai was waiting outside. She worked at the Interspecies Cultural Institute. She was smart, much smarter than Junho. She studied alien languages and customs for a living. "What did you buy this time?" she asked, looking at the case in his arms. "Just some old clothes," Junho said. Mirai crossed her arms. She had that look on her face, the one that said she knew he was hiding something. "Show me." Junho sighed and opened the shop door. Inside, shelves held hundreds of items from old Earth. Books with paper pages, mechanical watches, photographs printed on actual photo paper, things that people used before everything became digital and connected to networks. He set the case on his workbench. Mirai came closer and stared at the jacket inside. "Is that Veltharan?" she asked quietly. "Maybe. Probably. The record said it was a diplomatic gift from 2175. Junho, that was first contact, the very beginning." Mirai touched the case carefully. "Why would someone seal this away and never open it?" "The tag says, 'Do not wear it.'" "Then you should not wear it." Mirai turned to face him. "The Veltharans take their cultural items very seriously. If this is ceremonial, it might be sacred to them. If they find out you have it, there could be trouble. I just want to study it, learn about it, that is what I do." Mirai shook her head. "I know you, brother. You do not just study things, you touch them, you use them. You have to know how they work." She pointed at his wrist where he wore a pre-contact mechanical watch. "Promise me you will be careful." "I promise," Junho said. After Mirai left, Junho spent hours searching through databases for information about Veltharan ceremonial garments. He found very little. The Veltharans shared almost nothing about their culture with other species. They believed their traditions were private, sacred, and not for alien eyes. What he did learn worried him. The Veltharans had become more hostile to humans over the past 50 years. Disputes over mining rights on border planets, arguments about trade routes. Several human ships had been destroyed by Veltharan patrols for entering the wrong space. The jacket sat in its case on his workbench. Junho could not stop looking at it. The colors continued to shift and move. Sometimes he thought he saw patterns in the fabric, symbols maybe, or letters in a language he did not know. On the second day, his business partner Davin stopped by. Davin was good with technology. He could hack almost any system. He could fix almost any machine. He took one look at the jacket and whistled. "That is not human-made," Davin said. "Veltharan, I think." "Why is it in a sealed case?" "The previous owner thought it should not be touched." Davin leaned closer. "The material is moving, see that? It is definitely active technology. Probably has some kind of power source built into the fabric." "Can you scan it?" Junho asked. "Find out what it does?" Davin pulled out his portable scanner and ran it over the case. He frowned at the readings. "The case is blocking most scans, but I am getting some energy readings, very faint. Whatever is inside has been in some kind of sleep mode for a long time." "How long?" "If the records are right, and this has been sealed since 2175, then we are talking about 111 years. Junho felt a chill run down his back. Something had been waiting inside that case for 111 years. Waiting for what? On the third day, Junho could not resist anymore. He told himself he would just open the case. Just look at the jacket more closely. He would not touch it. Definitely would not wear it. He deactivated the containment seal. The case opened with a soft hiss of air. The jacket lay on a bed of preservation foam. Up close, the material looked even stranger. It seemed almost alive. The colors shifted faster now as if responding to his presence. Junho reached out slowly. His fingers touched the fabric. It was warm. He jerked his hand back. The jacket should be cold. It had been in a sealed case for more than a century. But it felt like someone had just been wearing it. "What are you?" Junho whispered. The jacket seemed to shimmer in response. The patterns on the fabric moved faster. Junho could definitely see symbols now. They looked like Veltharan script, but he could not read it. He knew he should close the case, seal it again. Maybe call Mirai and ask her to help translate the symbols. That would be the smart thing to do. Instead, Junho picked up the jacket. It was lighter than it looked. The fabric felt like water and metal at the same time. Smooth and cool and warm all at once. His hands tingled where they touched it. Just for a moment, he thought. He would just try it on for one moment, just to see how it fit, just to understand it a little better. Junho slipped his arms into the sleeves. The jacket settled onto his shoulders. And then everything changed. The fabric moved like it was alive. It wrapped around his body, bonding to his skin. Light pulsed through the material in waves. Symbols appeared across every surface, scrolling too fast to read. Uno tried to take it off. The jacket would not move. It was part of him now. Then a voice spoke inside his mind. It was calm and clear, and it spoke perfect Korean. "Neural link established. Welcome, Arbiter. I have been waiting for you." Uno stumbled backward and crashed into his workbench. Tools scattered across the floor. His heart was pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. The jacket was still on him, still bonded to his skin, and there was a voice in his head. "Please remain calm," the voice said. "The bonding process is complete. You are experiencing normal neural integration." "Get off me," Uno shouted. He grabbed at the jacket, trying to pull it away. His fingers could not find an edge. The material had merged with his clothes, with his skin. "What are you?" "What is happening?" "I am Keeper Protocol 7. I am the artificial intelligence system integrated into this Veltharan Arbiter unit. You have activated me by wearing the garment. The bond cannot be reversed." Junho felt dizzy. He sat down hard on the floor. The jacket glowed softly in the dim light of his shop. Symbols continued to scroll across the fabric. Now they were slowing down, becoming readable, but they were in Veltharan script. "I cannot read that," Junho said out loud. Then he realized he was talking to a jacket. To a voice in his head. He was losing his mind. "Language protocols adjusting," the AI said. The symbols on the jacket changed. They became Korean letters, words he could understand. "Is this better?" Junho stared at his arms. Korean text flowed across the sleeves. Words like power level and shield status and translation active. It looked like something from a video game. Except this was real. This was on his body. "What is an arbiter?" Junho asked quietly. "An arbiter is a neutral judge, a mediator between species. The Veltharan Empire created this unit 111 years ago as a gift to humanity. It was meant to bond with a human champion who would help resolve disputes between the Veltharan people and other galactic species." Junho tried to process this information. His brain felt slow. Nothing made sense. Why me? I am not a champion. I sell old things in a shop. I am nobody. The Arbiter unit was designed to bond with someone of pure intent, someone who seeks knowledge and understanding rather than power. You opened the case not to profit from the technology, but to learn from it. The unit recognized this quality in you. "I just wanted to see what it looked like," Junho said. "That is not pure intent. That is just curiosity. Curiosity is the foundation of understanding. You have been chosen." Junho put his head in his hands. This could not be happening. He wore an alien military device that would not come off. The Veltharans hated humans. If they found out he had their sacred technology bonded to his body, they would probably kill him. Maybe kill everyone on the station. "Can you turn off?" he asked. "Can you go back to sleep or whatever you were doing for 100 years? "The bond is permanent," the AI said. There was something almost apologetic in its tone. "But I can minimize my visible presence. The jacket can become invisible to normal sight. Others will not see it unless you wish them to. Do that now, please." The glowing symbols faded. The shifting colors stopped. Junho looked down at himself. He could still feel the jacket on his body, warm and present. But when he looked in the mirror across the room, he saw only his normal clothes, his regular shirt and pants. The jacket was hidden. "It is still there," he said, touching his chest. He felt a strange fabric under his regular shirt. "Yes, the unit exists in a state between dimensions when camouflaged. It is present but not visible." Junho stood up slowly. He needed to think. He needed to figure out what to do. But his mind kept spinning in circles. 111 years. First contact, diplomatic gift, arbiter. "Why did humans hide you?" he asked. "If you were a gift, why did someone seal you in a case with a warning label?" "I do not have complete information about human political decisions from that time period," the AI said. "However, my records indicate that the humans who received me were afraid. The Arbiter program would give significant power to one individual. Many human leaders at the time were fighting for control. They did not want a neutral judge who could challenge their authority. So they buried you, hid you away. Yes. And without an arbiter, small conflicts between species have continued to grow. Misunderstandings have become disputes. Disputes have become hostilities. The peace the Arbiter program was meant to preserve has slowly deteriorated over the past century." Junho walked to his shop window. Outside, people moved through the station corridors. Humans and aliens walking together, shopping, working, living their lives. It looked peaceful, but he knew the news reports. He knew about the border conflicts, the destroyed ships, the angry speeches. "What can you do?" he asked the AI. "What powers does this jacket have?" The Arbiter unit enhances physical capabilities. Strength, speed, reflexes. It generates a defensive energy shield. It can interface with any known technology. It translates all recorded languages in real time. Most importantly, it contains a complete archive of galactic law, history, and cultural protocols for all major species. Junho felt that tingle in his hands again. The jacket was warm against his skin. "Show me something. Prove this is real." "Extend your right hand." Junho held out his hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the jacket materialized over his arm. The fabric appeared from nowhere, covering his skin in that strange, shifting material. Symbols glowed along his forearm. A small sphere of light formed above his palm. It was beautiful, blue and white and silver, spinning slowly. Information scrolled through his mind. The light was made of condensed energy. It could become a shield or a weapon. It responded to his thoughts. He closed his hand. The light disappeared. The jacket vanished again. "I believe you," Junho whispered. His communication device buzzed. A message from Mirai. "Are you okay? You have not answered my calls." Junho looked at the time. 3 hours had passed since he put on the jacket. 3 hours that felt like minutes. He had been so focused on the AI that he had not noticed anything else. He could not tell Mirai about this. Not yet, maybe not ever. She would try to help him, and that might put her in danger. "I am fine," he typed back. "Just busy with research." The next 2 days were strange. Junho tried to live normally. He opened his shop. He talked to customers. He ate meals and slept and pretended everything was fine. But the jacket was always there. Always present on his skin, hidden but real. The AI talked to him sometimes. Not constantly. It seemed to understand when he wanted silence, but it would share information when he had questions. It taught him about Veltharan culture, about their honor codes and their history, about the other species in the galaxy. Junho learned that the Veltharans valued strength and honesty above all things. They believed in facing problems directly. They saw human diplomacy as weakness, all the smooth words and careful negotiations that humans loved. The Veltharans saw as cowardice. "They do not understand us," Junho said one night, lying in bed in his small apartment above the shop. "And we do not understand them. That is why the Arbiter exists," the AI replied in his mind. "To bridge that gap. I cannot bridge anything. I am just one person." The Arbiter program was never about one person doing everything. It was about creating a starting point, a single voice that both sides could trust. Junho stared at the ceiling. Could he be that voice? Should he even try? Every instinct told him to stay quiet, to hide, to protect himself. On the 3rd day, Davin came back to the shop. He looked worried. "Have you been watching the news?" Davin asked. "No, why?" "A Veltharan war cruiser just arrived at the station. They are demanding to inspect all ships and businesses." Junho felt his stomach drop. "Why? What are they looking for?" "They are saying something about a stolen cultural artifact. Something that went missing during the early diplomatic missions." Davin pulled up a news feed on his tablet. "The commander is serious. Takran is his name. He has a reputation for being brutal." On the screen, Junho saw the Veltharan commander. Takran was tall, nearly 7 feet. His skin had a gray-blue color. His eyes were completely black. He wore armor covered in symbols and medals. Behind him, Veltharan soldiers stood at attention. "All human facilities will be searched," Takran said in heavily accented English. "We will find what was taken from us. We will restore our honor." The AI's voice spoke in Junho's mind, urgent for the first time. "He is searching for this unit, for me." The jacket was never stolen, but the Veltharans believe it was. If they scan you, they will detect the energy signature. They will know. Junho looked at Davin. His friend was still reading the news, unaware of the danger sitting 3 feet away from him. "How long until they reach this district?" Junho asked. "Inspection started an hour ago in the upper levels. They are working down. Maybe 2 days before they get here. 2 days." Junho had 2 days to figure out what to do. 2 days before Veltharan soldiers came to his shop, searching for the very thing that was bonded to his skin. He touched his chest, feeling the invisible jacket. 111 years it had waited, and now wearing it might start a war. The Veltharan soldiers moved through the lower commercial district like a storm. Junho watched them from his shop window. They wore dark armor that seemed to absorb light. Their weapons were always ready. Every movement was precise and controlled. People scattered out of their way. Smart people. Junho had not slept in 2 days. He kept thinking about what would happen when the soldiers came to his shop. The AI had assured him that the camouflage mode would hide the jacket's energy signature. But what if it did not work? What if their scanners were too advanced? "You should leave the station," Davin said. He was helping Junho organize the shop, making everything look normal. "Get on a transport. Go somewhere else until this is over." "Running would make me look guilty," Junho said. "Besides, they are checking all departing ships. I would never make it off the station." Mirai had called 6 times. Junho had not answered. He knew she would hear the fear in his voice. She would know something was wrong. His sister could always tell when he was hiding something. The AI had been quiet most of the morning, but now it spoke in his mind. Takran's search pattern suggests he will reach this district in approximately 4 hours. I recommend preparing a cover story for your Veltharan knowledge. What Veltharan knowledge? I sell antiques. You have been accessing my cultural database extensively. You now know more about Veltharan history and customs than most human scholars. If questioned, this knowledge could either help or harm you. Junho understood. If he seemed too ignorant, the soldiers would be suspicious. If he seemed too knowledgeable, they would ask questions about where he learned so much. He spent the next 3 hours studying. The AI fed information directly into his mind. It was strange, like remembering things he had never learned. He knew about Veltharan military ranks, about their religious festivals, about the complex honor system that governed their society. When the soldiers finally arrived, Junho was ready. Or at least he hoped he was. There were 5 of them. 4 soldiers and 1 commander. The commander was not Tekran, but a younger officer. His armor was less decorated. He held a scanning device in one hand and a weapon in the other. This location will be searched, the commander said. His English was better than Tekran's. You will stand aside and allow access to all areas. Of course, Junho said. He tried to keep his voice steady. Is there something specific you are looking for? Maybe I can help. The commander's black eyes fixed on him. You are familiar with Veltharan artifacts? I deal in pre-contact items. I have studied many cultures, including yours. One of the soldiers moved past him, beginning to scan the shelves. Another went toward the back room. The other 2 started checking the workbench where Junho had first opened the jacket's case. The AI whispered in his mind. Camouflage is active. Energy signature is masked. Remain calm. The commander walked slowly around the shop. He picked up items and examined them. An old book. A mechanical clock. A photograph of Earth from space taken before the first alien contact. You collect memories, the commander said. I preserve history, Junho replied. Every object tells a story. The Veltharan people also value history. We do not forget our past. We do not lose what is precious to us. The commander set down the photograph. Until humans took something from us. Junho felt the jacket warm against his skin. A warning. He was walking into dangerous territory. May I ask what was taken? Junho said carefully. I study Veltharan culture. I have never heard of anything stolen during first contact. The commander turned to face him fully. Of course you have not heard. Humans hid the truth. 111 years ago, my people offered a sacred gift to humanity, a symbol of trust, a tool for peace. Your leaders accepted it and then made it disappear. What kind of tool? That information is not for human ears, one of the soldiers called out in the Veltharan language. Junho understood the words thanks to the AI's translation. The soldier had found the empty containment case, the one that had held the jacket. The commander went to examine it. He ran his scanner over the case. Junho's heart was pounding. Would the case show residual energy? Would they know what had been inside? This is a preservation case, the commander said. Very old, pre-contact era. I bought it at an estate auction, Junho said. It was empty when I got it. The commander looked at him for a long moment. Junho met his eyes. He had learned from the AI that Veltharans respected direct eye contact. Looking away was seen as dishonest. You know our customs, the commander said slowly. I try to understand the cultures I study. It shows respect. Most humans do not bother with respect. Most humans are missing an opportunity to learn. Something changed in the commander's expression. Not quite a smile, but a slight softening. He set down the scanner. What is your name, human? Junho Park. I am Commander Sylvan. Tell me, Junho Park, what do you know of Veltharan honor codes? This was a test. Junho could feel it. The AI fed him information, but he had to choose his words carefully. I know that honor is the foundation of Veltharan society, Junho said. That a Veltharan warrior would rather die than break their word. That debts must be repaid and wrongs must be answered. And what do you know of the path of restoration? Junho felt the AI search through its database. The path of restoration was an ancient Veltharan ritual. When something sacred was lost or stolen, the Veltharans would search for it until it was found or until death. There was no middle ground, no compromise. It is the sacred duty to recover what was lost, Junho said. No matter how long it takes. 111 years, Sylvan said quietly. My people have been on this path for 111 years. Do you know what it means to search for something for more than a century? It means the item is very important. It means we do not forget. It means we do not forgive. Sylvan picked up an old compass from one of the shelves. Humans forget so easily. You move forward and leave the past behind. You call it progress. We call it dishonor. Junho thought about the jacket on his skin, about the AI that had waited in darkness for 111 years, about the human leaders who had buried it rather than use it. Sometimes humans forget because we are afraid, Junho said. Not because we do not care, but because we do not understand. We fear what we cannot control. Sylvan set down the compass carefully. That is the first honest thing I have heard a human say in many years. The other soldiers finished their search. They reported to Sylvan in Veltheran. Nothing found. No energy signatures. No trace of the missing artifact. Sylvan looked around the shop one more time. His eyes passed over Junho. For a terrifying moment, Junho thought he saw suspicion there. Recognition. But then Sylvan nodded. This location is clear. We will continue the search elsewhere. The soldiers filed out. Sylvan was the last to leave. He paused at the door. You are knowledgeable about my culture, Junho Park. More knowledgeable than I expected. I wonder where a simple antique dealer learned so much. Books, Junho said. Records. The same way anyone learns. Books. Sylvan repeated the word like he was tasting it. Perhaps. Or perhaps you have other sources of information. He left before Junho could respond. Junho stood in his shop listening to his heart pound. The jacket was still invisible. Still hidden. The AI had been silent during the entire encounter, but now it spoke. Well done. You passed the first test. That was a test? Sylvan is one of Takran's most trusted officers. He was evaluating you, determining if you pose a threat, and he is suspicious but not certain. He will be watching you now. Junho locked the shop door and sat down heavily. His hands were shaking. Davin appeared from the back room, where he had been hiding during the search. That was too close, Davin said. They were looking for something specific. Did you see how carefully they scanned everything? I saw. Junho, what is going on? You have been acting strange for days. And how did you know all that stuff about Veltheran customs? I have never heard you talk like that before. Junho looked at his friend. Davin deserved the truth, but the truth would put him in danger. I have been studying, Junho said. That is all. Davin did not look convinced, but he did not push. Fine, keep your secrets. But whatever you are involved in, be careful. The Veltherans are not playing games. Takran has a reputation for executing humans who get in his way. After Davin left, Junho went upstairs to his apartment. He stood in front of the mirror and spoke to the invisible jacket. Make yourself visible. I want to see you. The jacket appeared on his body. The shifting colors. The glowing symbols. All of it real and impossible and terrifying. Sylvan will report to Takran, the AI said. They will continue searching. Eventually, they will realize the artifact they seek is no longer in a case or a vault. They will begin scanning people. Can they detect you through the camouflage? Unknown. My database does not include information on current Veltheran scanning technology. It has been 111 years. Their equipment has likely advanced. Junho touched the jacket, feeling the strange fabric. You said this was a gift. A symbol of peace. But they are treating it like something was stolen from them. The jacket was a gift, the AI confirmed. But from the Veltharan perspective, humans failed to honor that gift. We were meant to be used, to serve our purpose as a bridge between species. Instead, humans hid us away. In Veltharan culture, refusing a gift is the same as stealing it. So we insulted them, deeply. And now they want satisfaction. Junho looked at his reflection, a normal human wearing an extraordinary piece of alien technology. He thought about Sylvan's words, about the path of restoration, about 111 years of searching. What happens if they find you, he asked. If they discover I have bonded with you, the situation becomes complicated. Veltharan law states that an arbiter once bonded is sovereign. They would have to acknowledge your authority. Would they? That depends on whether they value law more than they value revenge. Junho made the jacket invisible again. Outside his window, he could see Veltharan patrols moving through the station corridors. Searching, always searching. 2 days had passed since they arrived. How much longer until they found what they were looking for? Mirai was waiting outside the shop when Junho arrived the next morning. She did not look happy. You have been avoiding me, she said. I have been busy. Busy hiding something. She pushed past him into the shop. I am your sister, Junho. I know when you are lying. Junho locked the door behind them. The station was quieter now. The Veltharan searches had made everyone nervous. People stayed in their homes. Businesses closed early. The normally crowded corridors were nearly empty. There is nothing to hide, Junho said, but even he could hear the lie in his voice. Mirai turned to face him. I work with alien cultures every day. I study how they think, how they communicate. And right now, the Veltharans are angrier than I have ever seen them. Takran is not just searching the station. He is preparing for war. War? Over what? Over honor. Over insult. Over something that humans did 100 years ago that we are still paying for. She stepped closer. And you have been acting strange ever since you bought that case at the auction. The case with the Veltharan jacket. Junho felt the invisible jacket tighten slightly on his skin. A warning from the AI. The case was empty, he said. Junho, please. Stop lying to me. For a long moment, they stood in silence. Junho had never been able to keep secrets from his sister. Not when they were children. Not now. If I tell you the truth, he said quietly, it will put you in danger. I am already in danger. We all are. Takran has given the station 48 hours to produce the artifact he is searching for. After that, he says he will start executing human leaders until someone confesses. The AI spoke in Junho's mind. She needs to know. You cannot face this alone. Junho made a decision. He walked to the window and closed the blinds. Then he made the jacket visible. The fabric appeared on his body, glowing softly in the dim light. Symbols scrolled across his arms and chest. The colors shifted from blue to purple to silver. Mirai gasped. She stumbled backward, hitting the wall. What is that? She whispered. What have you done? I put it on 3 days ago. It bonded to my skin. I cannot take it off. Junho held out his arms, showing her the glowing text. It is a Veltharan AI system. An arbiter unit. It was supposed to be given to a human champion 100 years ago, but our leaders hid it instead. Mirai stared at him. Her face had gone pale. The Veltharans are searching for this. For you. I know. Junho, this is what Takran wants. This is the artifact that will prevent a war. She moved toward him. You have to give it to them. You have to make it unbond from you somehow. The bond is permanent, the AI said, speaking out loud for the first time. Its voice came from the jacket itself, filling the room. I am Keeper Protocol 7. The Arbiter unit cannot be transferred once bonded. Mirai jumped at the voice. It talks? It is an AI, Junho said. It has been teaching me about Veltharan culture, about galactic law, about everything that happened during First Contact. First Contact, Mirai repeated. She was thinking now, her scholar's mind working through the information. The Arbiter program. I have heard rumors about it. Whispers in old documents. But I thought it was just a legend. It is real, the AI said. I am real. And the situation is more complicated than either of you understand. Mirai pulled out her portable computer and started searching through files. Wait, if this is an arbiter unit, that means the Veltharans were trying to establish a neutral mediation system. They were trying to create peace. Yes, the AI confirmed. So why did humans reject it? Yuno and Mirai spent the next hour going through old records. Mirai had access to the Cultural Institute's classified archives. She searched for anything related to First Contact, to diplomatic gifts, to the early years of human-alien relations. What they found made Junho sick. The Arbiter program had been exactly what the AI said, a Veltharan attempt to create lasting peace. They had offered the jacket to Earth's unified government. The message was clear: choose a champion. Create a neutral judge. Let humans and Veltharans resolve disputes through law instead of war. But Earth's government at the time had been fractured. Different nations competed for power. Different leaders wanted control of the new alien technologies. No one wanted to give so much authority to a single person. They were afraid, Mirai said, reading through a classified report from 2175. Listen to this. The Veltharan arbiter system would bypass traditional governmental authority. One human bonded with alien technology could make decisions that affect millions. This is too dangerous. We must secure the device but never activate it. So they lied to the Veltharans, Junho said. They said they would use it, but they hid it instead. And the Veltharans waited. They expected humans to appoint an arbiter, to begin the mediation process. But no one came forward. Mirai scrolled through more documents. After a few years, they started asking questions. Where is the Arbiter? Why has no one bonded with the unit? But by then, the humans who made the decision were out of power. New leaders did not know about the jacket, or if they did know, they were too afraid to use it. The AI's voice was sad, and so I waited, sealed in a case, moved from vault to vault, forgotten by everyone except the Veltherans who saw the failure to appoint an arbiter as a terrible insult. Junho sat down heavily. 111 years of misunderstanding, of fear, of stupid politics. Mirai looked at her brother. What are you going to do? I do not know. The Veltherans will scan everyone eventually. When they find you, what will happen? The AI answered. According to Veltheran law, an arbiter is sovereign once bonded. They should acknowledge Junho's authority and accept his judgments. However, emotional responses may override legal protocols. They have been searching for more than a century. They feel betrayed by humanity, so they might kill him anyway, Mirai said flatly. It is possible. A notification appeared on Mirai's computer. An official station announcement. Takran was making a public address in 2 hours. All humans were required to attend or watch the broadcast. This is it, Mirai said. He is going to make his ultimatum official. Junho stood up and paced the small shop. The jacket felt heavier now. Or maybe that was just the weight of the decision he had to make. You could hide, Mirai suggested. There are places on the station. Maintenance tunnels. Old storage sections. I could help you disappear. For how long? A month? A year? Forever? Junho shook his head. And what happens to everyone else? Takran will not stop searching. He will punish innocent people. Then what? Junho thought about Sylvan's words. About honor and restoration. About debts that must be repaid. I need to talk to Davin, he said suddenly. Davin arrived 20 minutes later. Junho told him everything. Showed him the jacket. Let the AI explain the situation. To his credit, Davin only looked shocked for about 30 seconds. Then his practical mind took over. Okay, Davin said. So you are wearing ancient alien technology that cannot be removed. The Veltherans want it back, and in 2 hours they are going to threaten the entire station. He pulled out his tools. We need a plan. I have an idea, Junho said. But it is risky, and I need your help. Davin grinned. It was not a happy grin. It was the grin he got when he was about to do something illegal or dangerous or both. What do you need? Can you hack into the station's broadcast system? Probably. Why? Because when Takran makes his speech, I want to make one too. I want everyone to see me. Every human. Every alien. Every species on this station and beyond. Mirai understood immediately. You are going to reveal yourself. I am going to do what humans should have done 111 years ago. I am going to accept the responsibility. I am going to become the arbiter. The AI spoke quietly in his mind. This is dangerous. The Veltherans may not accept you. They may see your bonding as another insult. Then I will deal with that, but I cannot hide anymore. Too many people will get hurt if I stay silent. Davin was already working on his computer, typing commands faster than Junho could follow. I can get you into the broadcast. But once you appear on every screen in the station, there is no going back. The Veltherans will know exactly where you are. Good, Junho said. I want them to know. Mirai grabbed his arm. Brother, think about this. You could die. I could die hiding too. At least this way I get to choose how it happens. He looked at his sister. The AI has been teaching me. I know Veltheran law now. I know their customs. I know what an arbiter is supposed to do. You are not a warrior. You are not a judge. You sell old things. I know. But maybe that is exactly what they need. Someone who understands the value of history. Someone who knows that old mistakes can destroy the future if we do not fix them. The AI made the jacket visible again. The symbols glowed brighter now, pulsing with energy. If you do this, the AI said, you must commit fully. You cannot hesitate. The Veltherans will test you. They will challenge your right to be arbiter. You must be prepared to answer. How do I prepare? By understanding what you already are. You sought knowledge when others sought power. You showed respect when others showed fear. You are willing to face danger to protect the innocent. These are the qualities of an arbiter. Junho looked at himself in the mirror. The jacket transformed him, made him look like something between human and alien, between past and future. He thought about all the objects in his shop, the watches and books and photographs. Each one was a piece of history. Each one taught a lesson about who humans used to be. Maybe it was time to show who humans could become. Do it, he told Davin. Get me into the broadcast. Davin's fingers flew across his keyboard. You have got it. When Takran starts speaking, just say the word and I will cut you into the feed. Mirai hugged her brother tightly. Be careful, be smart. And please, please stay alive. I will try, Junho said. They had 1 hour until the broadcast. 1 hour until Junho would step out of the shadows and into the light. 1 hour until the entire galaxy learned that after 111 years, humanity finally had an arbiter. And he was terrified. The central plaza of New Sol Space Station could hold 10,000 people. Today it held nearly twice that. Humans packed the space, standing shoulder to shoulder. The screens that normally showed advertisements now displayed Takran's face. Junho stood hidden in a maintenance corridor above the plaza. Davin was beside him, holding the portable broadcast equipment. Mirai stood on his other side, her hand gripping his tightly. Below, Takran stood on a raised platform. His Veltharan armor gleamed under the bright lights. Behind him, 50 soldiers stood in perfect formation. Their weapons were visible. The message was clear. People of New Sol Station, Takran began. His voice boomed through speakers across the entire station. I am Commander Takran of the Veltharan Empire. I have come seeking what was stolen from my people 111 years ago. The crowd was silent. Junho had never seen so many people so quiet. During the first contact between our species, the Veltharans offered humanity a sacred gift, a symbol of trust and cooperation, an arbiter unit designed to create peace between our peoples. Takran's black eyes scanned the crowd. Your leaders accepted this gift, and then they made it disappear. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Many people did not know this history. It had been buried, classified, forgotten. For 111 years we have searched. We have waited. We have watched as small disputes became conflicts, as misunderstandings became hostilities, all because humans were too afraid to use the tool for peace that we offered them. Junho felt the jacket pulse against his skin. The AI spoke in his mind. He is building to an ultimatum. He will demand the artifact be returned or he will take action. I am ready, Junho whispered. Takran continued. I have searched this station for 3 days. The Arbiter unit is here. I can feel it. Someone knows where it is, he paused. I give the humans of this station one final chance. Produce the Arbiter unit within the next hour, or I will begin executing your leaders, one every hour until someone confesses. The crowd erupted, shouting, crying, panic spreading like fire. Junho looked at Davin. Now, Davin pressed a button. Every screen in the plaza flickered. Takran's face disappeared, replaced by Junho's image. Wait, Junho said. His voice carried across the plaza through the same speakers Takran had used. Commander Takran, I have what you seek. The crowd fell silent again, everyone turning to look at the screens. Takran spun around, searching for the source of the interruption. Junho stepped out of the maintenance corridor onto a catwalk above the plaza. The jacket became visible on his body. The fabric glowed, shifting through colors. Symbols scrolled across every surface. Light pulsed from the material in waves. 10,000 people gasped at once. Junho began walking down the stairs toward the plaza floor. Each step felt like moving through water. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking, but he kept walking. My name is Junho Park, he said, his voice still amplified across the station. 3 days ago I bought a sealed case at an auction. Inside was the Veltharan Arbiter unit. I did not know what it was. I put it on out of curiosity. He reached the bottom of the stairs and walked into the plaza. The crowd parted before him. It bonded to me. The AI inside told me its history, told me what it was meant to do. Takran was staring at him. The Veltharan commander's expression was unreadable. Junho stopped 20 feet from the platform. He could see every detail of Takran's armor, every weapon, every soldier. The Arbiter was never stolen, Junho said. It was hidden by humans who were afraid of change, afraid of giving power to one person. It sat in darkness for 111 years, waiting for someone to fulfill its purpose. You dare? Takran said, his voice low and dangerous. You dare wear the sacred garment of the Arbiter. You a simple human, a merchant. I did not ask for this, Junho replied. But the AI chose me. It bonded to me. And now I understand what I have to do. Junho took a deep breath. The AI fed him the words in perfect Veltharan. He spoke them clearly, his voice carrying across the silent plaza. I am Junho Park of Earth. I accept the mantle of arbiter. I swear by the ancient laws of the Veltharan Empire and the principles of justice that I will serve as a neutral judge between species. I will hear all voices. I will seek truth above politics. I will work for peace above power. He paused. This is my oath given freely before witnesses of all species. The Veltharan soldiers stirred. Junho heard them speaking to each other in their language. The AI translated their words for him. He speaks the oath correctly. But can a human be arbiter? The law says the bonded one is sovereign. Takran descended from the platform. He walked toward Junho slowly. Each step was measured, controlled. When he stopped, he towered over Junho by nearly 2 feet. You speak our language. You know our laws. Takran's voice was quiet now, meant only for Junho. But words are easy. Honor is proven through action. I understand. No human, you do not. Takran's hand moved to his weapon. You have bonded with the arbiter unit. Veltharan law states I must acknowledge your authority. But you have not earned that authority. You have only worn a jacket. Junho felt fear crawl up his spine, but the AI spoke calmly in his mind. He is challenging you according to tradition. You must answer 3 questions. These questions test wisdom, courage, and justice. They have no correct answers, only honest ones. What are the 3 questions? Junho asked Takran. A slight smile crossed the commander's face. You know of this tradition? The AI has taught me. Then you know that if your answers do not satisfy me, I can reject your claim to be arbiter. And if I reject your claim, the bond is considered false. You will be treated as a thief who stole sacred technology. I understand the stakes. Takran nodded. He raised his voice so everyone could hear. I will ask the 3 questions of worthiness. All present will witness. Let the testing begin. The crowd pressed closer. Junho could see Mireille's face in the crowd. She looked terrified. First question, Takran said. A Veltharan warrior and a human soldier both claim ownership of a disputed territory. Both have valid legal claims. Both have suffered losses. Both refuse to compromise. As arbiter, how do you judge? Junho thought quickly. The AI provided legal precedents, historical examples. But Junho realized this question was not about law. It was about understanding. I would ask them both why they want the territory, Junho said. Not the legal reasons, the real reasons. What do they hope to gain? What do they fear to lose because territory is just land? But the reasons behind the dispute are usually about something deeper. Safety, resources, pride. If I understand the real reasons, maybe I can find a solution that gives both sides what they truly need, even if neither gets exactly what they asked for. Takran's expression did not change. Second question. You are presented with evidence that proves a human diplomat lied during negotiations with the Veltharan Empire. This lie has caused years of conflict, but revealing the truth will humiliate humanity and possibly cause war. What do you do? This was harder. Junho felt sweat on his forehead. The jacket pulsed against his skin, warm and steady. I reveal the truth, Junho said finally. Being arbiter means being neutral. I cannot protect humans just because I am human. If someone lied, that truth must be known. But I would also work to prevent war. Truth and peace are not opposites. Sometimes the only way to build real peace is to face hard truths first. The humiliation of admitting a mistake is temporary. The respect earned by honesty lasts much longer. Several Veltharan soldiers nodded slightly. Takran's eyes narrowed. Third question, the commander said. This is the most important. A Veltharan honor code states that an insult must be answered with blood. A human belief states that forgiveness and mercy are the highest virtues. These 2 philosophies cannot coexist. As arbiter, which do you choose? The plaza was absolutely silent. This was the real test. This was about the fundamental difference between species. Junho thought about his shop, about all the old things he collected. Each object represented a moment when someone made a choice. Some choices led to creation. Some led to destruction. But all of them taught lessons. I choose neither, Junho said. And I choose both. Takran's eyes widened slightly. Explain. The Veltheran Code is about honor, about making sure that actions have consequences, that wrongs are acknowledged and addressed. This is not wrong. This is important. Junho spoke carefully, feeling his way through the answer. But the human idea of mercy is also important. It is about understanding that people make mistakes, that circumstances matter, that change is possible. He paused, gathering his thoughts. As arbiter, I would say this. Yes, an insult must be answered. The Veltherans are right about that. Ignoring a wrong does not make peace, it just lets poison grow in silence. Junho looked directly at Takran. But the answer to an insult does not have to be blood. It can be acknowledgement, apology, restitution. These are also answers. They also restore honor. You would let someone insult a Veltheran warrior and escape without punishment? Takran demanded. No. I would make them face the consequence of their action. But consequence does not always mean death. Sometimes it means making things right. Sometimes it means changing behavior. Sometimes it means public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Junho felt the words coming faster now, with more confidence. The human concept of mercy is not about letting people escape justice. It is about leaving room for growth, for change, for becoming better than you were. He stepped closer to Takran, unafraid now. Your people have been insulted. That is true. Humans accepted your gift and then hid it away out of fear. That was wrong. It was dishonorable. It deserves an answer. Junho touched the glowing jacket on his chest. I am that answer. Not blood, not death, but acknowledgement. I am a human who says yes, we failed you. We were wrong. We were afraid. And now, 111 years later, I am trying to make it right. Is that not also a form of honor? The silence stretched on. Junho could hear his own breathing, could feel his heart pounding. Then Takran did something unexpected. He removed his helmet. Beneath the armor, the commander's face was weathered and scarred. His black eyes glistened with something that might have been tears. For 111 years, I have been on the path of restoration, Takran said quietly. I was a young soldier when the Arbiter unit disappeared. I dedicated my entire life to finding it. My children grew old. My wife died. And still I searched because honor demanded it. He looked at Junho with an expression of incredible weariness. I expected to find a thief, a criminal who stole our sacred technology. I expected to punish them, to finally close this wound that has been open for more than a century. Takran's voice cracked slightly. I did not expect to find an honest merchant who put on a jacket out of curiosity. I did not expect to find someone who would step forward and accept responsibility for crimes committed by people who died before he was born. The commander knelt. Every Veltharan soldier in the plaza knelt with him. I acknowledge you, Junho Park of Earth. You are the arbiter. By law and by right, you are sovereign. Your judgments will be respected. Your authority will be honored. Junho felt tears on his own face. He helped Takran stand. The insult to your people must be answered, Junho said. What restitution do the Veltherans require? Takran looked surprised by the question. He thought for a moment. We require acknowledgement, he said finally. Let it be known across all human worlds that the Veltherans offered peace 111 years ago, that humans failed to honor that offering, that this failure caused suffering for both our peoples. Let this truth be taught to every human child, so that the mistake is never repeated. I will make sure it happens, Junho promised. And we require that the arbiter serve his purpose, that you judge fairly when our peoples have disputes, that you help us understand each other as you have helped me understand today. I will do my best. Takran placed his hand on Junho's shoulder. It was a gesture of respect among Veltherans. You have strange ideas, Arbiter. You mix concepts that should not mix. But perhaps that is what we need. Someone who can see both sides. Someone who is not bound by either culture's limitations. 6 months later, Junho stood in his shop. It was different now. He had turned it into a museum of interspecies understanding. The old Earth artifacts shared space with Veltharan cultural items, with objects from other species too. The jacket was visible on his body. He wore it openly now. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the human arbiter. Some respected him, some doubted him, but all of them knew his name. He had mediated 17 disputes in 6 months. Some were small, some were large. Each one taught him something new about how different species thought, how they communicated, how they could work together when someone helped them understand each other. Mirai ran the educational programs. She taught about the history of first contact, about the mistakes that were made, about how honesty and courage could fix even century-old wounds. Davin had developed new technology based on the Arbiter's AI. Tools to help translate not just words but cultural concepts. Ways to help different species truly understand each other. A notification appeared on Junho's communication device. A new case. A dispute between humans and a species he had never worked with before. The Koresh. They were traders, business people, and they were angry about something involving shipping routes. Junho smiled. He activated the jacket's full display. The colors shifted, the symbols glowed. The AI spoke in his mind. Ready for the next challenge, Arbiter? Always, Junho replied. He walked to the door of his shop. Outside, the station corridors were busy. Humans and aliens moving together. Working together, not perfectly. There were still problems, still misunderstandings, still conflicts. But now there was also someone who could help. Someone who could bridge the gap. Someone who understood that the best way to honor the past was to build a better future. Junho stepped forward into the crowd. The jacket glowed brighter and people turned to look. Some smiled, some nodded in respect. A few Veltharan warriors saluted as he passed. For 111 years, the jacket had waited in darkness, waiting for someone who would use it not for power but for service, not for glory but for peace. It had chosen well, and Junho Park, the antique dealer who just wanted to understand old things, had discovered that sometimes the most valuable thing you can preserve is not the past but the future. The Arbiter had risen, and the galaxy was better for it.